Welcome, it's Francis here. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I bid you welcome. There is a subscribe button below if you would like to help support this channel by subscribing. Also a bell to be notified as to when I upload more content. I'm coming to you from Ghana country, and as such, I acknowledge the Ghana people of the Adelaide Plains as being the traditional custodians of these lands. So this video is going to be about the new moon in Aquarius that will be taking place on the 29th of January at 11:05 p.m. Australian Central Daylight Saving Time. It will be at 9 degrees 52 minutes, almost say 10 degrees of Aquarius. And interestingly, next month's new moon is going to be also at 9 degrees. And in March, when we have the solar eclipse, that new moon will be at 8 degrees, but more about that closer to this time. So when there is a new moon, this means that the sun and moon are conjunct right next to each other, making it the darkest sky of the month, as only the first sliver of the moon starts to reveal itself. And this is why it's associated with new beginnings. So if you have your natal or birth chart, look to see where 9 degrees 52 minutes or 10 degrees of Aquarius falls, what house it's in, whether you have any planets or points there, because this will be where you are being encouraged to look at what you want to change or even understand in your life at a deeper soul-driven perspective. Also take note of what seeds you're wanting to plant now, because when the full moon in Aquarius comes around, so that will be around August this year, it could very well be the time where these seeds actually have merged into manifestation. So the themes associated with Aquarius are often connected with innovation, being original. So these are areas where we are being asked to plant our seeds in order to move forward. However, with Uranus being the planetary ruler of Aquarius too, this sort of indicates different or unconventional ways, sort of time to think outside the box, engaging in activities which are also about social innovation, because Aquarius is and connected with communities and friendships and networking endeavors. So it could be also a good time to inspire group activities to become more social, to be networking. But there is this huge emphasis on personal freedom. And that ties back into Uranus, which is all about breaking free, especially from the old constraints. Pam Guru sort of added a different layer to this, or an upper layer, saying that this new moon is also about truth, awakening, people coming together, and even aviation advancements. Uranus is the Roman sky god, so there could be a connection with the cosmos, galactic beings, even new galaxies, finding more about our own galaxy. And there also is this sort of revolutionary energy about, so there could be a rise in protests, the revolution as the old ways of doing things begin to or continue to sort of collapse around us, in order for this new world or the new way of doing things to really come through and manifest. So whatever you do, there's this reminder to keep things future driven as to where you want to be, say in the next 6 months or even this time next year. Keep open-mindedness about you as to the changes being made in order to reach those goals. And this forward-focused mindset, however, could result in some challenges being experienced, especially those around us in our relationships with other people, in particular the people who are not willing or interested in moving forward with us. So when we're looking at some of the transits, we have Mars opposing the Sun. Mars is at 21 degrees of Cancer. It's retrograde, and it's also out of bounds, meaning that it's sort of outside its usual cycle, which indicates a very unpredictability of it in relation to its energy. Mars, of course, is the planetary ruler of Aries, and it's associated with war and violence. Mars is the ruling god of war, as I mentioned, and also primal fire. So with Mars being retrograde, this could make us feel as if we're going one step forward, yet two steps backwards. And we're being challenged by outdated patterns, which are draining and depleting us. But until we sort of work through them, we are not able to receive any sort of energetic or cosmic downloads, upgrades, what do you want to call them, that are out there waiting for us. So we need to sort of utilize this time, stop dragging our feet, especially if we have not given ourselves the opportunity, and I've said this for a while now, to stop, to surrender, to release, to let go, especially of all those things that no longer serve us. What are we continuously dragging into this new way of thinking that is from the past and needs to be let go? The sun and the moon in Aquarius is trine Jupiter, which is also retrograde and at 11 degrees of Gemini. And Jupiter is wanting to sort of bring us growth and abundance, expansion, wisdom, travel, and even new philosophies. And this connection with Jupiter will assist in getting our minds on board, especially with respect to the potentialities of the future that are waiting for us. Jupiter has been in retrograde since the 9th of October last year and will continue to be in retrograde until the 4th of February this year. And in that, it's offering us the opportunity again to reflect, to reassess the goals in our life philosophies, and also enabling us to focus more, especially on an inner level, and finding that stability to move forward. There's also a grand air trine between the sun and the moon, Jupiter, and one of the dwarf planets in the Kuiper belt, which is at the outer edge of our solar system. And that dwarf planet is Makemake at 11 degrees of Libra. So who is Makemake? I'll talk a little bit more about this dwarf planet in a moment. But I just want to say, because this is a grand air trine, air, so this is all about social developments again. It's about neural networks. It's about information systems, new social media challenges that are now becoming more free of censorship. We've just had it more recently with Facebook and losing their fact checker. So the ownership is coming back more on us. Also the ever-changing logarithms or algorithms, again, it's coming back on us. We are being encouraged to take more and more responsibility as to what news or information we allow into us. And this is because both Aquarius and Gemini are linked with freedom. Gemini is also nonconformist as well. And Jupiter is linked to what seeds we are sowing for our future, as well as justice, truth, and honesty. So coming back to Makemake, it's named after a great sea spirit, creator god of the Rapa Nui people of Easter Island in the South Pacific. Excuse me. And due to the devastation brought to the island by Westerners, and the blame of that has long been put on the indigenous peoples, not the Westerners. That's sort of being rectified these days, or been admitted these days. But the local communities of indigenous peoples have really turned the island around. There's been a lot of regeneration and rebuilding of the local culture, also the island. And this indicates, especially with astrology, was shown in astrology, that Makemake has this sort of very powerful regenerative energies. According to Pam Gregory, this is why it's connected in with this new Earth consciousness. She also mentions another astrologer, Alan Clay, who perceives Makemake as being the higher octave of Uranus, enabling us to actually set a new world view, also revealing a new level of consciousness connected with the ancient Earth or shamanic wisdom practices where the earth was perceived as sacred, as mother, as Gaia, amongst the whole communities and the wider community these days, as opposed to more sort of earth-centric belief systems. Now, I was sort of doing a little more research into Makemake because I don't know a lot about dwarf planets. I came across an astrology site that focuses on the dwarf planets, and the links listed below. And they also related Makemake in relation to the reduction or the regrowth of population numbers. And these are done by natural or unnatural causes where things like migration issues could arise. There could also be earthquakes and tsunamis as well. And another point of sort of exploration, which was revealed, was that another name for Rapa Nui, and I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, is Te Pioto Te Hunia, which means the navel of the world. And which just comes to mind because Delphi in Greece is also referred to as the navel of the world. And I might have to look to see if these two are actually connected. Especially when we're looking at one being in the southern hemisphere, one being in the northern hemisphere, as to the longitude and latitude. Anyway, the lunar nodes have also recently changed signs. As such, they move backwards throughout the zodiac, and they're at the analytic degree points, with the north node, our future direction, being in Pisces now, and the south node in Virgo. So the north node is around about 29 degrees 59 minutes. So right at the analytic degree point, making it be in conjunction or a loose conjunction with Venus at 25 degrees 26 minutes of Pisces, and also Neptune at 25 degrees 53 minutes of Pisces. And this is really positive because this sort of indicates that we're moving forward with unconditional love. They are also 165 degrees to Makemake. So it's almost like we've got this ancient wisdom highlighting, being connected, being brought in with these elements of unconditional love, of really these deep emotions beginning to sort of surface, driving us forward. So can I be so bold and maybe put it out there that, considering what our general collective is, or where we are at this moment, where there's such a lack of compassion and acceptance of difference of opinion, and everything's so black and white, that mindset is now beginning to sort of dissipate and allowing a more loving, peaceful, I was looking at unconditional love, a more accepting energy coming through. Something that our world, I think, so desperately needs these days. We need to sort of break down this black-white and approach things with more compassion. I'll get off my sermon box now. Okay, looking at Uranus, it's the modern planetary ruler of Aquarius. It's also retrograde, and the interesting point is that it will be stationing direct the day after this new moon on the 30th of January. So this means it's currently slowing down, and as it's sort of slowing down, it's intensifying the energies. It's also at 23 degrees of Taurus, and will be at this degree point until about the 13th of March. So this is another point to look at in your natal chart, whether you have anything between 22 and 24 degrees of Taurus, or in any of the fixed signs, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, because you may feel a degree of restlessness with this energy, this desire to sort of break free and go beyond. And Pam Gregory also mentions that the last time Uranus was at this point, or this will be the last time Uranus will be at this point for the next 84 years. And it's also minutes away from that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that was experienced in April the 20th last year, which again sort of spearheaded all of this new awakening. As Uranus sort of stations direct there could be an increase in seismic activity, stronger winds and storms, because Uranus is connected with Earth changes and cyber attacks, or power outages, shocks, surprises. Recommendation maybe to back up your computer files. And because it's in Taurus, Taurus is a very Earth sign, so Uranus could very well be rocking our foundations, especially when it comes to finances, agriculture, and food security, and everything else that makes us feel safe and secure. But when Uranus actually stations direct and then starts to move again, we will feel more confident with respect to the direction that we are heading in, or at least we will gain a deeper sense of balance and even more of an understanding as to why we're going through these periods of instability to start off with, especially with all this emphasis on really trying to get us into this forward focusing direction and to take more ownership of ourselves, our role that we play, coming back to the earth, and also coming back to the body, how important it is to don't get caught up too much in the head. We really need to come back and earth those thoughts, those visions into the here and now. So if there have been elements in what I've just presented that resonate with you, or even if you've got something you would like to discuss, please put comments below. I do go back and look at all comments that people do leave. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, and that way you support it. And also don't forget to check out the astrologers that I have utilized their wealth of information to prepare this sort of report, because I'm not an astrologer myself. I just have an interest in it, but I use the work from other people. So breathe. So come back into yourself. Start looking at the role that you play in creating this new world. And take care. I will speak to you soon. Blessings.